Hey, this is Ryan Witt, defense attorney here in Western Washington. If you are educating yourself about the crime of DUI, maybe you're just curious, maybe you have one, you got to take the additional step and educate yourself about the nasty little brother collateral consequences. And the one that comes up the most is driving on suspended second degree. If you are in that situation, stick around. We do a tremendous amount of DUI defense work out of our firm here in Western Washington, and it puts us in this real unique vantage point where we always get to see the downstream consequences after the case to what it does to the person's driver's license status. And a lot of people don't know it, but a lot of the cases will resolve in a way where it will change their status from valid to something other, probably suspended second degree. So I do this video kind of as a cautionary tale to alert people not to be afraid of it, but at least to know what's coming up in their future and how to deal with it. You know, think about it like this. If you've got a knee surgery coming up, you want to schedule a consult and go talk to them, not just about the knee surgery, but what about physical therapy? What about rehab? Is that going to be 2 weeks? Is it going to be 6 months? It's something that's very relevant to talk to that surgeon about. Now, the same is true when you're talking to your DUI attorney. It's very short-sighted to just drill down on, on the case, on the resolution, without asking those questions that are going to kind of expose what the collateral consequences are going to be. Because, as I said, not in all of them, but a lot of resolutions are going to result in a change in your status to suspended second degree. Now, I'm talking about this like a DUI, like it only comes from DUI. That's not true, but the purpose of this video is kind of DUI that leads to suspended second degree. But just so you have a full picture of how you can become suspended second degree. Yes, it's DUI, that's probably the primary one, but it could be from a plea to reckless, it could be a finding of guilty, hit and run attended, it could be after your DUI, there's just treatment required and you haven't quite finished it yet. So those things can all put you in a suspended second degree status. And usually when you are suspended second degree, the suspensions have different times. Could be 30 days. The most common ones are probably 90 or a year. If you have priors, you're looking at a year or more. I mean, it could be 5, but the suspended status can last for quite a while. So the trick is, how do I deal with it? Number one, to deal with it, you've got to know about it and acknowledge it so you can make the right steps forward. So when you're in that attorney meeting, as I kind of referenced making the hypothetical about the knee surgeon, you've got to drill down on what does this look like? What are the steps I take moving forward? So I think I'm going to break this at a fork in the road here, because when you are of a status where you're suspended second degree, if you drive, it can lead to a crime. Just being suspended isn't a crime, but if you drive, it can lead to a crime. So let's do our fork in the road here with A and B, okay? A is going to be, you are not charged with a crime. That's fantastic. You're just suspended in the second degree. As I mentioned a moment ago, it's going to be 90 days, maybe it's going to be a year. We want that. We want you to just stay in that status and fly right through that. No issues, okay? So how do you stay in that status without having a problem? Well, I mean, the first and obvious one, people don't like it, but maybe don't drive. You Uber around, you ride a bicycle, you shed a couple belt sizes off your waistline because you're walking, you're huffing it around. So it's don't drive, or if you want to drive, which most people fall into this camp, they really want to drive because the kids got to go to soccer, you got to go to school, you got to go to work. So you'll want to get an ignition interlock license. It's a restricted license. It allows you to drive all through your period of suspension. You can drive 24 hours a day, anywhere you want to go. So it's a very good way to get around, well, it's not getting around. You're still suspended, but you're driving during the period of suspension. I'm referencing, go talk to the attorney about this, that, and the other. Talk to them about the ignition interlock license if you are in Washington. That is critical to have if you are suspended in the second degree. I'm not going to get into it here because there's a tremendous amount of detail and you have to do it exactly right. If you miss a step in that license or in the ignition interlock license, it's catastrophic because you just get pulled over and arrested for driving while suspended second degree. So that is our door number 2 here. The first one was, you're not charged with a crime. How do I skate through that? Now we're on the topic of you are charged with a crime. What are we going to do about it now? Well, I guess I just should alert you, if you are charged with the crime of driving while suspended in the second degree, it's a gross misdemeanor, meaning you can do it up to a year in jail, $5,000 fine. So it's the same level of offense just as the original DUI. So it's a big deal. It comes with another license suspension. So if your suspension was a year, it can add another year to it. And I'm not saying this just to freak you out, but if you get 3 major moving offenses, okay, the DUI would be 1. A driving while suspended second degree is another one, so that's 2. If you got 2 DWLS second degrees, you become, well, you're a habitual traffic offender. So, I mean, that's a whole nother realm of misery. You become suspended for 7 years, no option of getting an ignition interlock license. You're sidelined. So that's a real game changer. So, after scaring you straight to not drive on a suspended license, let's just say you've got one, what do? Well, you try to get that resolved somehow. You try to get relicensed. You could contact the DOL. What do I need to do to get out of this status, get back to having a valid license? And I would say, go talk to a local defense attorney about it. Somebody that deals with those. They've got to handle that type of issue and DUIs to have the full picture of what's going on. When you go in there, you want to talk about strategies to try to get yourself out of that suspension in the second degree status. And the only way that defense attorney could try to help you is, show up with the abstract of your driving record, show up with your criminal history, and that way they can talk about a strategy moving forward. But that's if you have one already. The best way to do it is try to prevent it. Obviously, if you get suspended based on a DUI or anything else, make sure you don't drive while you're suspended. So hopefully you're not caught up in that. If there can be strategies to maybe get it dropped to third degree, maybe get it dismissed entirely. Not sure. All cases are different. All facts are different. People's histories are different. But it is a big deal. It's just like talking to the surgeon about PT. Here, if you've got a DUI, you got to talk about potential future collateral consequences like the suspension. If you have one, how do you mitigate that issue? If you have a question based on this video, go ahead and drop it in the comments. We'll try to answer it there. If it's a frequently asked question, we'll just do another video answering it. So if this is helpful, if you like the content, please like and subscribe, and thank you for watching.